You ride a bike, don't you?
I've rode bikes before.
What kind of bikes did you own?
What kind of bikes did I own?
Yeah.
Well, hey, there was a movie called Hell's Angels on Wheels. I owned all those bikes that are in that movie.
Is that right?
Yeah. But they were in another state, and I couldn't get out of the state I was in.
Up?
I did trail riding and not a lot of street riding because they wouldn't let me because of J.D. Rockefeller. You know, they said somebody will run over you. You know, I go just like flying. Hey, just like I came up with helicopters, jet planes, and all that. Maryland was flying them. They wouldn't let me fly them because they said they can kill me with them. You know what I mean?
Makes sense.
But you know, they said you can't fly helicopters. You can't. Well, Howard was the one that said it's too easy to kill somebody in a helicopter or plane. All you have to do is do some adjustments, and you know, it'll go out of control. You know.
Howard Hughes said that?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
Howard goes. I'm Howard's boss. Was Howard's boss when he was alive. All right, Howard Hughes.
There weren't very many of those.
What? Howard Hughes bosses?
Howard Hughes' bosses, yeah.
Me.
That was you.
I started Boeing.
Numero uno.
I started TWA, all that stuff when I was real little. I started TWA, I started Eastern.
Is that right?
Yeah. I'm not lying. What I started was, I came up with roller skates. Remember roller skates? The original ones that stretched out and you had a skate key?
Yeah.
You remember that?
Well, a little bit.
Okay. Then I wanted to make boot skates, but they said they'd be too expensive to make, you know. So what I did is started writing music. All right, then there's hula hoop, duck and yo-yo, frisbee, wiffle ball, bat, and then game and monopoly stuff. Tammy comes in, I'm 5 years old, you know, I'm skating around like this, you know, she says, hey, I'm kidnapped in St. Louis, all right? I'm skating around, she says, hey, come here. So she looks at me like this and she goes, did you make some bets? I go, you know, she looks at me like this.
That's when you were kidnapped?
Yeah.
Really?
So, yeah. So here, listen to this. So I said, yeah, I made some bets, you know. And she goes, around the world? I go, yeah. She goes, well, you got some little old country over there for $40 million, you know. I go, well, there ain't nothing I can do about that, you know. So she goes, I went and told Elvis. I go, why would you tell Elvis? He ain't got no money in it, you know. And she goes, well, I wanted to see what Elvis would say. I said, what'd he say? He said, they lost. You know, I go, that's right. So she goes, he had a big globe there, so I said, that's a little old country right there. She goes, yeah, little old country lost $40 million, you know. And so then she goes over to Trust. I go, how the hell did you get over to Trust? You're not supposed to be in there, you know. And she goes, I went over there because nobody else would go over there. Marilyn said she didn't make a bet. Your mom said she didn't make a bet, so they called me. I go, they called you. And George is sitting there, pulls his hat back, laughing like hell, you know. So I go, hey, go over my bar there and have a beer, you know. And she looks at me and she goes, I'm not going in that crazy bar, crazy people in that bar, you know. She goes, that's a mean bar. She goes, we'll go down to the brewery and drink, you know. So I said, go ahead, you know, because I invented beer and all that, all right?
Oh, really?
Yeah, I really did. I'm not lying. So Michelob was the one I made with a different bottle and everything, you know.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'll make that a different beer because it's Michelob's a good beer. If you've had it before, haven't you?
Yeah, I have.
So
you probably get the proceeds for all that.
I own the company, Anheuser-Busch.
Do you?
Yeah. I started limp beer back then. Do you remember that?
What is it?
I shipped it out to California. Maryland used to get in the truck and drive the beer out there for them guys.
Maryland did?
Yeah. Hey,
oh.
yeah. Hey,
that was before she was famous.
Listen to this. Yeah, I'm kidnapped in St. Louis. This is the truth. I'm 5 years old. I'm sitting there, you know, I'm watching TV, and I was eating. I never will forget this. And the guy comes in to kidnap me. He goes, the FBI's down at the brewery. They want to know who owns the brewery, you know. He goes, I put 4 guys in there called Limp Brothers, you know, and they know they're not the Limp Brothers. I go, tell them I own it. So I go down to the brewery, you know, and he goes, go on in there. You want to talk to them guys? Good luck, you know. He goes, I ain't messing with them. So I go in there, and the FBI guy goes, who owns this brewery? I go, I do. He goes, oh, you're the movie star kid. I go, yeah. He goes, okay. He goes, you're selling beer in California and all along the way, you know.
Yeah.
And he goes, our boss said he didn't like it, you know. I go, who's your boss, you know? And he said, I said, it says on there I can sell beer anywhere I want, you know. I got a license anywhere I want, you know. So he goes, well, yeah, who can I call? Who's your parents? I go, I don't know. And he goes, well, I go, you can't call Marilyn because she's too young. I go, call Mae West. All right. So he calls Mae West. He goes, get Mae West on the phone. I think she's what, an actress? I go, yeah. So
she bailed you out.
So I go like this. I go, hey, I'll talk to him. You know, I'll talk to her because you don't know. I go, Mae, the federal boys are here and they're in my brewery and they want to know, you know, about the beer, you know. And Mae goes, well, what about it? I go, well, you're shipping it out there, you know. And she goes, yeah. She goes, well, that's all right. You could do that. And I go, she goes, tell them I'll bring the Hollywood attorneys in. We'll handle it, you know. So I go, okay. I said, she said she'd bring the Hollywood attorneys in. They'll handle it. He goes, I got to call the boss. So he calls the boss, and he goes like this. He goes, forget it. He goes, the boss don't want to go through all that legal. And some higher up people.
And then they just let you go.
I said, yeah.
It's good luck.
So it kept making beer, you know.
Yeah.
So I kept shipping out to my liquor stores in California, you know. And Marilyn was like, why didn't you call me? You know, that's the way she talked to me. Why didn't you call me?